So how everything turned around. First of all, the whites, they actually found a way to actually kill that movement because it would have led to something else. And how did they do that? Infiltration. They had, I think I've forgotten the name. They had a part of uh, the CIA that was entrusted with that responsibility of bringing people that will infiltrate this group just to cause chaos and give the government reasons to invade them. They killed a lot of the civil rights
Activist
activists. They killed most of them, like Malcolm X,
yeah, true.
what was this,
Luther King.
Martin Luther King, and a lot of them, even the leaders of all of this movement. So they killed them and they were able to slow
The
the
progress.
progress. You know, if you cut off the head of the snake, the body no go dey alive again.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So when they were able to do, after doing all of that, you know that they actually have soldiers that was better from this thing who did not have directions
Yeah,
anymore
true.
because they've removed the head,
The learning process.
the learning process and everything. What did they do? Because they saw that the foundation of this movement was the family. Family was the foundation because if a father can actually teach, raise his child to be like this,
That
then
culture.
within that culture, then it will definitely, the child will grow up to definitely be like that. So they had to like destroy
That
the family structure, understand? And they actually succeeded when they did that. So you now have,
How did
More
this
male black parents in jail this period and all of that.
how did they do that? There are a lot of people have different theories, and most of them are right because they actually came from different. But the most visible one was I don't know if you know about Rick Ross. The real Rick Ross, not this fat musician. The real
because not at least not in shape, so you know if you call him fat, he's good man.
boy, our
He's
own
still
perception
big,
of the guy, na fat guy.
na fat
He's
guy.
still fat guy. He get wetin you wan say, the guy na fat guy. But
He many extra flesh.
yes, now. But the real Rick Ross was a 19-year-old boy that the CIA used to move this era of crack epidemic.
Wow.
Understand? So it was like
Drugs.
drugs. How am I going to explain this now? The guy was working with a CIA. It was as if the government was using one stone to kill two birds. They were funding the war in Nicaragua, a contrast war against the government of, they want to overthrow the government of Nicaragua. So they were funding the war with cocaine. So those people were supplying cocaine
To the US.
from through the CIA or through the government. They were supplying cocaine. It's not, I'm not defaming anybody, it's online, you can check it out. Understand? So they funded the war through supply of cocaine. And the recruits and the blood and the creep group at that time, they found a way to turn cocaine into crack. Understand? So it flooded the black it was the major target was the black community.
Because
It
it was
flooded
very,
into
very
it.
cheap to get.
So you now have two problems. You have addiction, and then you have the people supplying it, like crime, killing each other just to gain territory. You understand? So they actually succeeded in destroying the black community. So when they wanted to end it, this is what they did. They incarcerated all of the black men because they were all involved. If they catch you with a gram of crack, you are facing 25 to life. You can check it out, it's online. Understand? Not just people supply. If you're supplying, if you're a major supplier, you could, regardless of how old you are, get
So they
almost
took
life.
a lot of dads and breadwinners away from their families.
Exactly. So it was as
with
if
nothing to survive on, rather than going back to the same thing that you're arresting them for.
exactly, because there were a lot of things that they use. Like I said, a lot of people will come from different perspectives. You have economic segregation, you understand? You have education. Black school were not as funded as other neighborhood, you understand? So education was porous. You have this structural racism. Understand? As a black businessman, you can hardly get funds for your business, but as a white man,
Can
easily
get loans.
banks will give you loan. But black, you go first twice or 10 times as hard just to get.
a small
Even
paycheck.
home self, they will never give you mortgage as a black man because their excuse how you get money to pay.
Because
But
no jobs for black men.
it's kind of intertwined. As in, if economy is not working for you, you cannot get money to fund other things. You understand? So because as if they structurally segregated blacks from the wealth. Understand? So they have no other choice than to go into crime. And in the crime now, they are massively incarcerating anybody they catch. And most of them predominantly black men that were supposed to raise their children. Now you now have children that don't have anywhere to learn from.
But they know their dad ended up in the
Other than what
hospital.
society reflects to them. And that's where they too also found a way to teach black children
How to survive.
through the same way music,
True.
movies.
To pass that logic of drug sales to the
You understand? So now you have musicians singing about crime life is the best.
And that is what they know the black community for now.
Exactly, but
crime
you
and
see
drugs.
there are actually structured series of events that actually led. It was not as if blacks were like that in the first place, or it was a plan. That's why I said a lot of people, it is who has the resources that actually controls
the society or the way things are supposed to be.
But now, yeah, sorry, I wanted to add this what's it called now? Plan, this structure that was carried out for the black society. I wouldn't necessarily say I've read a lot, but I've come across online and in movies. It was almost the same thing with the Asian society of old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The same level of segregation and bias that was
It's everywhere.
put to the black society. Now, I'm just saying in the context of the American society now.
Or in the context of how a small group of people will decide to, because they have the resources, they will particularly choose to affect
the living. Well, I wanted to just ask a question. I mean, I get what you're saying. I was just trying to say, what was the difference? Like, how did we come out to be like this? Like, the Asian society, they face the same thing that was done to the black society.
Yes.
But somehow, they managed to come out of it. The Asians in America, they have better prospects. You look at them better.
Yeah.
Because they work from home.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense.
For example, anyways, a lot of them don't work from home, but
no, like from their Asian. When I mean home, I mean their Asian continent. I don't mean
yes.
sit at home and work. When I mean most of them work from, I mean the growth process
from home.
The growth process and the respect that they have now was built from home.
Yes.
That is their continent. So whatever way they are looked at in outside society is
much more better
because of. So if people can handle your home this way, it means we can give you an opportunity to actually do this in our society.
You know the problem,
But it's not the same thing for blacks.
It's not the same thing, and I will still tell you why. The thing is, man is limited in time.
It's looking like it's not our fault.
Okay.
No, finish.
Man is actually limited in time. Understand? Yes. Because we have a very short lifespan. Understand? You cannot live through a certain age. And the funny thing is, before you're even born, the environment has been created for you. You understand? To actually know how it works, you have to learn. Understand? Read about, for you to actually, okay, this is, because you have to first understand a system before you can actually work in it or even change it in the first place. Throughout time in the world, there have always been empire that controls everything. You see, during the time of Babylonia, they were in control of the world. The Assyrians, Egyptians, you have the Romans. Now is the time of the West, as they call it, the Western periphery. Understand? It's actually an empire just like the old
true.
Understand? And that's why I was I'm saying that Nigerian problem did not start from our ancestors. It started way
before that.
Before then, understand? Our problem was created for us. The
through
process that we got here.
they influenced us. They influenced us
to
more.
our environment
Yes, did
being
not-
the way it is anyway.
yes,
They influenced us more via colonialism than they did the Asians and the rest. I think the Asians already had a better working society and they did not need much
No,
of
not
colonial
necessarily.
Or maybe they
progress.
Not
just had
necessarily,
that
because-
awareness that they could probably do better.
It was
Okay, if you think they had that awareness that they could probably do better, the question now is, as I'm not saying as Nigerians single-handedly, I'm sorry to say this on camera, but it's looking like it's a black problem. And I don't know, because we have African countries that have a different race and they are doing well.
True. Anyways, guy.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? If you look at African countries that are of color, like Tunisia, Egypt, and Morocco,
the northern
for example,
part of Africa,
those countries are doing well.
really doing well.
No, not necessarily. I mean, there are some
They are
places
going
that
like
are
standard of
dilapidated,
Be
but
better.
their standard of living on an average is far better than
small
No,
Ghana.
but
I
was-
They don't do well.
Which
Anyway.
Ghana they do well.
Yeah,
Which is
Ghana.
where you dey see
no,
from?
but
You want to talk about their currency because of their currency. Their Nigeria currency actually better than Ghana.
Me, I actually
South Africa would not have been that good if they didn't have white still. Me and you agree that South Africa wouldn't have been that explosive if they didn't have white still.
No, you're getting it wrong. Yeah, I was actually coming. I was going to answer.
I'm not saying that the thing is a white man prowess now. Don't get me wrong. I feel like as blacks generally, the issue is, are we trying to see over time? We cannot see how this things work. If me and you here now, I can see it like this way.
Like want to use it, like you said, the Asians now they're able to reevaluate that. Okay, these things we can actually do
Better, exactly.
Like,
so
I think it's
as
high time
Africans, we cannot pick
Nigerians can
people that
actually think that
let's
we can
reevaluate.
do better,
If we do
because
better, we
whether we
will.
want to like it or whether we are accept it or not. Anyways, let me correct myself. The learning process in which we have all seem to have gone through, like maybe we either learn to reevaluate and choose better, or we reevaluate to we just adapt.
Exactly.
Like a lot of Nigerians did not and have not and are not willing to reevaluate, will adapt. That's why you see when you like I said earlier, when you go out and then you meet people and then your first thinking of them is that something negative is always going to come because you have that awareness. If you maybe experienced one or two things, you have that experience to know that okay, this guy want to do me this thing. Don't be in one possibly do you, or maybe you now out of habit and the fact that the environment has maybe forced you, or maybe of your own choosing, because there's this part of man I believe actually that like to cling to the dark side of things. You understand? So I feel these behaviors that we, or rather this, it's not that I'm trying to be a moral police or anything, but I feel this behavior that our environment, these negative behaviors towards one another in relation to how we relate with each other, this negative holding the environment has placed on us, like it's something we need to actually sit and reevaluate. Like you get,
you know where I was coming from. Because a lot of us, we keep trying to evaluate the situation of Nigeria within the box. If you're within the box, you will really never actually see the full picture.
No, see.
And
Finish.
you will never actually see the full picture. And I was saying that our problem did not start from us for a reason. It did not start from us.
True.
You understand? A lot of activities happened before
that led to why.
You know, like a lot of.
So if we want to rectify it, we will still take that same slow process to rectify.
See my point. I said that the past or the present is not independent of the past. You understand? It was something in the past that actually created the present. So to actually know if the present is a problem, so actually evaluate, see the problem for how it is and understand how to solve it. You have to go back
Go
to
back in time.
evaluate
and
the
learn.
past. You
Possibly
understand?
learn about
Because
the past actually.
a lot of activities happened in Europe, per se, France, Germany, Spain, England. A lot of things happened that actually taught them because like I said, it was an empire. So at that time
Re-
they were still
Everybody wants
growing.
control.
Revolving.
No, it was as if the empire was evolving. So they learned a lot of things along the way that actually taught them
Made
how
them.
to handle all of this their empire. Do you understand? They
But you know that. Sorry, Sha. But you know that round notion of necessity that taught them over time
yes.
how to handle empire. It does not necessarily make all their decision making right too.
No, but they succeeded in conquering the world. That's my point.
But
You understand?
true.
You
True,
see,
Sha.
you are a
But
conqueror. But
at the loss of a couple other people, do you understand what I mean? Do you understand what I mean?
But what he's
They
trying to say
learned
now,
to build an empire of themselves,
yes,
to grow other
beyond what they are.
at the expense of a smaller society.
True.
Is my point.
True.
we
Okay.
as we now.
Yes.
Oh yeah, like in relation or rather in the context of what I said earlier, that a particular group of people like would just want for certain things to go in a particular manner because of the benefits they will have.
So
Okay, so I feel
No,
it's trying to
is it
say,
not what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm saying these particular people that you are talking about now. There's you. How do you identify them? Who are these people? Because you're only saying a particular people. Who are these people?
So I actually read somewhere, like I read somewhere, there's a quote, I can't really remember who made this quote, but if you actually want to learn and know about these things, I think you have to ask yourself this very important question. Who is benefiting from you suffering?
we all know these things. I mean, they're online every day. Just of recent, Niger Republic, they had issues with France.
Okay.
I know we said we will not talk about most
Sure,
of
you
No,
most
no,
of
that's
this
fine.
stuff.
give me example.
But we saw when they said Niger Republic gives France almost 75% of lithium that's responsible for their power.
Free resources.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Have you taken a look at Niger?
Okay.
At the time, they used to come to Nigeria to survive. These people produce that much amount of lithium. You take it over there, it's not the problem, because if you wanted to relate with Asians, Russians, or you wanted to relate with other countries like that, I am very sure that is going to be on the deal. Nobody is going to give you anything for free.
Like the balance.
If you are
of
going to take
benefiting
that
is going to be
amount of lithium for us, we either have to get the same regular amount of cars or the same regular amount of buildings or whatever is it.
Listen that you said there. Let me relate it to Vladimir Putin. There's this journalist from America that went to interview him, and his aim was to understand what's actually causing the war of Russia and Ukraine. That interview, I think it lasted. I'm not sure. Let me not say what. I don't know. I don't know how long it lasted, but it was very long. I think it was close to 2 to 4 hours. Do you know that question? Everybody will just assume that okay, that my Putin wants to explain it. He will just talk about. He went back. That's why I see that they love him in his country. Do you know why? Because he always carry the people along with information. He explained the situation far back to the Soviet Union, even before the Soviet Union, just to come to this point that they are in now. So people can understand what has happened over
Time.
if that man, as powerful as he is, knows that okay, to actually pinpoint the cause of a problem, he has to go back in time.
Yeah.
Don't you think we too, in our own country, we have
No.
to go back in time to actually reevaluate what actually caused
I
this
would.
problem? Because you know what, sorry to question, and you're right. Looking at France,
Niger Republic.
okay, now I ask the question: these little people that we are seeing, are holding us, like
Okay.
are holding us back. How to identify them, and then you mention France. Good. How are they doing it is another question.
It's a very.
No, not politics.
I know. We're talking
politics.
society
We're talking
generally. So
we're talking
exactly. So I'm
society.
trying not to take it into that, because society, we know the people controlling society are definitely in government too. But then I would say we know these things are international relations,
Okay.
and every government has people representing them in international relationship.
Okay.
Now, it is this simple. You don't expect this government to rate me the same way this government rates you, because first of all, you cannot compare the deal Russia will have with US to a deal US will have with Nigeria and African country,
Yes,
because
yes, yes.
over time, like you
That's
said,
different relation.
over time they've had relations from
Well,
years back, long
this
ago.
all depends on, actually. I feel it depends on what you can offer and your awareness to know the value of what you can offer.
No, exactly. That's what I wanted to see. Like that's what I was getting there.
Because I don't think
I was getting there, UG. See, like a country like UG,
Nigeria.
Russia and Nigeria, now, if they want to have a relation now, you don't expect Russia to give them the same terms that they are going to give a country like US. There's no way. Even if Nigeria are aware to the highest level, even if we as a country, the person we send for that meeting is aware of our history to the highest level, he will make the best deal out of it.
Yeah.
But it is not going to be the same deal that Russia will make out of a country like US, or because that thing is not impacting in their society the same way ours is going to impact in their society.
Sure.
It's
Okay,
as
yeah.
simple as that. But my main point is, if we know that these things are worth a deal, why not make the deal out of it? Why make it look casual? Why make it look like we are doing everything and not getting anything in
Like
return?
working so hard and
Do you
not getting
understand? So
anything.
if we know that other countries do trade with this, we are not expecting to get the same outcome that this other person is getting for giving you this. We just want to get enough for giving you this, because it is what our own trade is supposed to be on. It's just that logical for me. And then going back to the society and the black society, and like I said, the Asian society, and how Asians grow and black did not grow. I think it is just simple to, I will not say term of government, because if we start to train now individually from a society, like if we start to pinpoint now individually, like you said, from the right family background and inculcate
Yeah.
the right things, going further in future terms, everybody, these things are simple things. If you build a school, if you build a good school,
Yeah.
children will go there and learn. If you do
Yeah.
a neat environment, children from that environment will come out neat. The brain normally, the more we advance, actually, it's actually whatever we take while we grow up that the brain inculcates and it grows with
Yes,
that.
yes.
So your environment and your space has a lot to do with how you think
How you develop
and how
these
you
things,
develop.
like
So if the government having a very good environment to bring out good citizens is not a very big deal. Just make a convenient and a comfortable environment. It's just simple. Build schools. Anybody that goes to school knows that when he comes back, he has a service to render to the society.
true.
Do good, do good
The same
roads.
thing. This is
Do
the
good
same thing
roads.
me I'm talking
Do
about.
you
You know what?
understand?
Your point is
This
vital,
point you're
but
making
it's still
now, very,
within
very
the
okay
box.
now.
It's okay, but sorry to say, but it's still within the box because you're still talking about government. Like,
Now,
let me not wait.
what he's
Let
trying
me.
to say, sorry, I'm putting up, but I feel
Why you want to talk to me? I want to try to. Now you
no
pay my
problem.
mind.
Oh yeah, now carry on
Talk,
now.
talk,
No,
talk.
no, actually, don't leave my point. Carry on, but this part is needed anyways. Carry on.
Yeah,
No, talk, talk. That's why I
just
want to talk.
So me, I feel what he's trying to say, that we should not, like, now we know the problem already. You get, like,
yeah.
nobody go say no, what is the problem be. So instead of relying on the government for the
Do the little
solution, like,
things for
I
yourself.
feel we can just cause ourselves to think rather, like reevaluate these
All these things.
circumstances and be able to sort out a solution, like that will feel a working solution. Because if we keep waiting for this government person as it is, like they will still cause this
Which
our
You
is
know, not
society
necessarily
to
waiting for
work the
government
way
to.
it
no,
is
I
but
told
anyway.
I told you I talked about the Harlem
Yes,
Renaissance.
yeah.
yeah.
I feel like Nigeria needs Nigeria Renaissance. Like I don't know if I'm saying the word
No,
correctly, but
but
everybody know what I mean. But let me conclude. You know why? Because for example, I gave what actually led to the changes within that culture. It was uh, artistical, like music, theater.
The
You have
entertainment and
intellectual,
the, yeah.
and you have intellectual, and you have one. what's that? But basically within that, so we have philosophers writing about black, and people were reading a lot at that time because
Yeah.
it was the source of how to get information. So they were able to like promote it. Okay, um, then the people that were popular were philosophers, the musicians that were
Musicians,
telling that was
stories,
stories of black pride,
And black culture.
actors.
then actors that were acting on stories of black, the same thing, you understand. So it was actually what led to the rebirth of that culture. You understand that black pride of I'm a black man that changed the idea of as a black man I'm lesser than every other human being on earth. Understand? I have an excerpt of a Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois, that philosopher, the popular
Yeah.
philosopher. I have an excerpt is the exact thing that he was talking about, how the black people have two identity. One was their identity, and the other one was a
Was from
reflection of
them.
what the white people think about them, and it was a conflicting identity.
Identity.
You understand that we always, even after seeing ourselves as who we are,
We
we
still
keep
want to,
we still see
like,
how they
opinion, like,
describe us.
you get
Want
like
to
a
be open to
second
their opinion on
You
how they
understand?
see
Yes,
us.
how they see us. You still
True.
see. So it was as if it was the conflicting, but he was trying to tell us that no, it's not supposed to be conflicting. You are as good as those people. So they are not supposed to define your own identity. You understand?
Sure.
So if we could have this same rebirth in our culture, and we have the necessary factors affecting us, like you have musicians singing about some certain values, understand, and you have actors doing the same thing, and you have people, the right people getting influence instead of some
No.
stupid
Yeah.
doctor that you have the same people influencing, putting those influences out there. You understand? Like for example now, my guy, I don't remember the last time where I go eat something for road or drink water,
You know,
throw am for no. If
you
I
go
no see wetin I go
fine,
hold am till I
go
reach
hold
house. You understand?
am, good
And if I see
things
somebody
to
do the same thing, the
the
thing
guy no
dey
dey give
hit
you
me for
breathing
body.
space.
You understand? But the fact is, how can we actually keep Nigeria clean? Is it government that we
Keep
always
your
be
streets
packing
clean. True.
dirt
Dirt.
out of the gutter, or you not
Or
throwing things into the gutter?
not even that anyway. Sorry, not even like at least not job opportunity for people. But I
Which
feel,
job? What?
calm down now. Wait now. Wait now.
No opportunity. Somebody clean gutter. What do you mean?
People they do it now.
But you don't have to make
There
it
are
serious
better
for
ways to
them
do
now.
it now. What do
You don't have to make it
have
serious
you
for
seen those
them
people
now.
entering gutter just to pack the sand and
But
the dirty water out?
what I knew is like, if those litters not there around, they no go get.
So what about
garbage.
if you have engineers creating robots that can actually do that? Is it
Yeah,
not
No, the
good
fact
now,
is, even
good
if you
now.
have people like now, we have people that sweep the road every morning. We
it's
see
not
them.
necessary.
We, no,
If
no,
if
we see them
pay-
early in the morning when they sweep the road.
If
I'm not
it-
saying it's not necessary. It might be necessary, but the
No,
truth
it's not
is,
necessary.
no, wait,
You know
but,
that okay,
in a
in other
working-
country they have
in a working
robots,
society, in a working
eh,
society,
doing
no,
that.
those
not
are
a
advanced
The employment, no,
society.
society.
push advanced. What do you mean?
But me, I feel
It's advanced, but why can't we be advanced?
No, I know. You
It
get
is
my
that
point.
value
I'm
that
not
actually
saying.
made them
I'm not saying.
advanced.
I'm not saying it is wrong. Oh. My point is, if we have people that work to clear the gutter or to sweep the road, I don't have a problem with it. People are getting paid, so they are earning a
No,
lot.
wait, see my
do
point.
it
My
right.
problem
No,
is,
wait, no,
my
I
problem
cannot
is,
be agree
no,
with
wait,
that
let me tell you,
point
my
at all.
problem is,
It's
you
not-
don't, just because people are sweeping that road or clearing the gutter doesn't mean you have to throw your dirt there.
No,
Like,
you see,
wrongly.
You don't have to-
see
you
that
don't have to
job
make it-
employment
you don't have
that
to
you're
make it-
talking about. You see that job employment that you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. Do you know that the companies creating the robots that actually sweep the advanced country road, they employ more than the sweepers are, and because of that, they will have to, like, you have more people going to school just to be engineers to create that robot than this our dead country that they would rather you not go to school so they can employ you to sweep.
So
So it's a matter of perception, it's a matter of value and what we pay attention
yeah,
to.
true. In as much as I want my country to grow, I will not be. I don't know the right word to use, but in as much as I want my country to grow, I will not be blind to the fact that my country is a third world country.
What makes it? That's why that's why I was going back in time to
Yes.
explain the cause, because who defends your country as a third
Sorry,
world country?
sorry, but even when we were going back in time to discuss the course now, you will understand why when myself I was talking, I mentioned that some of all these countries had international relations then. Me and you country, Nigeria wasn't a record. Then, as at when most of all these countries have started having international relations, my country and your
Who
country.
says who? Who said we did not have international relations? Do you know how far Benin conquered? Do you know how far the Malian Empire
I
conquered?
know of
Are they not
Oyo, I know the
international?
Oyo
Are they not
Empire.
international?
I know the Oyo Empire too. They did quite a lot,
And
but
what was what?
you will not
Okay,
you
sorry.
will not compare that level of civilization and international relations to what they had then, what all those other countries had prior to the First World War and all of that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I mean, no make sense to you. I feel like international relationships where we get with those countries,
Anyways,
they're on a different level, and that is why we are where we are. That is why we are third world country.
anyway, let's not
It's
stray
not
too
why we
far.
are third world countries. It's not because we are backward. Understand? At some point in history, Africa, most of you. That's why it is important as Nigerians, not just we going back, that in our educational system, these things are taught, the right things are taught. You
True.
understand? It's important that we take and that is how this other country that you see that have escaped this trap that we are still in. That is how they did
Now,
it.
now the
See,
evaluation
they
talk
shot
like ever since now.
they shot their entire system away from the influence
of
of
the outside world.
world, and then they retaught their citizens. They reshaped. It was the same thing that happened in our alarm.
Yeah,
But this one in a bigger. If you see China
society
now,
tried to
if
reshape.
you read their history, that is what China at one point was still under the influence of colonial this thing. But how did it change? Although they revisited their culture and their history, they taught their children that at one point in time,
This was what we
the
were
Europe,
like.
if you check it in history, during the I think maybe 1400, all of the activities that was happening, then if you check all of their history, you see that they were as primitive at that time
True.
as the let me not even use primitive because it's just a matter of definition of civilization. You are judging civilization based on this current system. Then it was civilized. We too
Okay,
get civilized. You understand?
Everybody and
Understand?
their growth process.
And their growth process.
True.
And at some point, during I think it should be all those 14 to 1500, Africa was even more developed than Europe.
True.
Understand?
But what me I'm
No,
trying
wait,
to
let
say-
me finish. Sorry. But if you start to see the series of events that actually led to the development of Europe, you understand why we are like this. You understand why we are considered a third world, because this image of a third world country, we did not put it on ourselves. They did, and there are series of events that actually led them to divide the world like that.
True.
You understand? But why are we like that? How will you know? You keep saying it is our government, but if you even check, sorry, Emilos, if you even check how our government is structured and why we cannot rely on our government, if you check it, it is actually the same thing as indirect rule in government. You understand? It is the same thing as indirect rule. What happened? When sorry, when they invaded our country, our and this guy, this fella picking, they always they talk about that particular thing, that you see these leaders that you said sold the people to slave trade. It's the lie. Our real leaders, when those people came, they actually resisted and fought.
No,
And that's why I say
true.
you have Oba Aburame, you have Nana Akukubo, you have a lot of prominent leaders that actually fought against this slave trade. You understand? But what did they do? After they deposed of those leaders, what did they do? They put people there. They know they.
And funny thing is, those people now with the recycle since that time till now.
Exactly. Sure, you understand. That's why you cannot rely on